Here's a story that is happening every day in the United States. It's not pretty, but it's real. Mom called me last Tuesday, a little embarrassed and a little scared. She said she had just sent a stranger $40,000 and she was not sure what to do next. If you are somewhere between 45 and 65 right now, raising kids, working full time, and quietly worrying about your aging parents, I want you to listen to this one all the way through. I hear this same story almost every week now. A retired widow gets a phone call, and the voice on the other end is calm, official, sometimes gentle, sometimes a little urgent. They say they are from the DEA or the IRS or her bank's fraud department. They tell her her account has been compromised, and they walk her very carefully through transferring her own money to a so called safe account. That turns out to belong to a man she will never meet in a country she will never visit. $40,000 on Tuesday, sometimes another 40 on Friday, sometimes the whole retirement balance by the end of the month. The Federal Trade Commission has been tracking these losses. The number of seniors losing more than $100,000 to scams has climbed roughly 8 times in the last 4 years. Not 8%, 8 times. The total dollars in that category alone went from about 55 million to over 445 million. And here is the part I kind of cringe at. Most of these families had a CPA, most had a financial advisor, most had a will and a trust and an attorney who drafted documents 10 years ago. They were not unprepared people. They were just unprotected on the one front nobody told them to defend. Let me say what I mean by that. Your CPA looks backwards. They reconcile last year. Your parents' financial advisor manages the portfolio. The attorney drafted documents and stuck them in a drawer. Nobody on that team is watching mom's email at noon on a Tuesday. Nobody has a written script for the moment grandpa picks up a call from someone pretending to be his grandson in jail. Nobody is monitoring the 4 checking accounts she opened in 1987 and forgot about. That is the gap. That is what we mean when we say compliance is backward looking and clarity is forward looking. Your team is built to file, it is not built to defend. And the cost of that gap is brutal. I have sat with families this year who watched $445,000, a lifetime of careful, quiet saving, drain out of an elderly parent's accounts in less than 30 days. The inheritance was gone, the dignity was bruised, and the worst part, none of those families had spent more than a few $100s trying to prevent it. So here's the quiet trade I want you to hear tonight. About $5,000 of structure, coordination, and paperwork done now is the thing that protects the 445,000 later. That is the math. It is not a glamorous number. It will not make a great photo on social media, but it is the difference between an inheritance arriving intact and an inheritance arriving in a police report. In the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through the 5 concrete moves we use with sandwich generation families. None of them are complicated. None of them require you to take over your parents' lives. They just install a layer of protection that, frankly, the rest of the financial industry is not going to install for you. Move 1, draw the map. Before you can defend anything, you have to know what exists. Most adult kids of aging parents could not. Today, tell you how many bank accounts mom has, or which credit cards she has, or where the brokerage statements come from, or whether dad still has that whole life policy from 1976. So you start with one quiet conversation and one piece of paper, not a spreadsheet, not a software platform on a single page. List every account, every institution, every login, every advisor's name and phone number, every safe deposit box. List the will, the trust, the powers of attorney, the deed to the house, the title to the car. List where the documents physically live and who has the keys. I tell families, this is not snooping. This is fire insurance. The day someone falls in the bathroom or the day a check bounces, you do not want to be hunting for an account number. You want it on one page. You want it now. Move two, install the watchdog layer. Banks will not call you when mom moves $40,000 and they're not allowed to. Privacy law sits squarely in the middle, so you have to install the alerts yourself. Three things to set up, and you can do all of them this weekend. First, turn on account alerts on every checking and savings account your parents have, text or email, any transaction over $500. Most banks let you do this in the app in under 10 minutes. Second, place a credit freeze with all three credit bureaus on your parents' files: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It is free. It takes about 20 minutes total, and it blocks the most common identity theft pathway. If they ever need to apply for new credit, they can lift the freeze for a few days and put it back. Third, set up an account aggregation tool. We use a few different ones depending on the bank. That gives a trusted family member a daily readable summary of what moved. You are not seeing logins. You are not taking over. You are just seeing a one-page picture of the money each morning. This is not surveillance. This is a smoke detector. You do not stand in the kitchen all day watching the stove. You install the device that beeps when something is on fire. Move three, do the paperwork before you need it. A durable financial power of attorney, a healthcare proxy, a HIPAA authorization, and if it fits the situation, a revocable trust with you or a sibling named as successor trustee. Those are the four documents that let you actually act when something goes wrong. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The day your father has a stroke is the day it becomes legally impossible to sign these documents. You cannot fix this in the emergency room. You cannot fix it after the fall. The bank will not let you move money. The hospital will not let you make decisions. You will be standing in a hallway with a phone call from a nurse, and the only path forward will be a court-appointed guardianship that takes months and costs five figures and is public record. For the cost of one good attorney visit, usually $2,000 to $4,000 depending on your state, your family stops being one bad afternoon away from a legal nightmare. Move three is the move people put off the longest. It is also the one that, when it is missing, costs everyone the most. Move four, build the family wire rule. Almost every catastrophic scam loss has the same shape. A senior is contacted, the pressure is real, the story is convincing, and the money moves the same day. So here's the rule we install with every family. Any wire transfer, any large cash withdrawal, any gift card purchase over $200 waits 24 hours and gets a phone call to one trusted family member first. Always. No exceptions. Even when the IRS is on the line, even when the grandson sounds scared, even when the so-called bank fraud officer says, "Do not tell anyone." Write it down, put a copy on the refrigerator, put a copy taped inside the front of mom's checkbook, put a sticker on the computer. Why does this work? Because every legitimate request can wait 24 hours. Every single one. The only requests that cannot wait 24 hours are the ones designed to steal from you. The 24-hour rule, all by itself, prevents the majority of these losses, not because it is clever, but because it gives the brain just enough room to say, wait, this feels off. Move five, book the quarterly money conversation. Once a quarter, same day, same agenda, 1 hour, you sit down with your parents, ideally with a sibling on the phone if there is a sibling involved, and you walk through the same five questions every time. One, any new accounts opened or closed since we last talked? Two, any new advisors, salespeople, or callers reaching out? Three, any unusual mail, unusual transactions, or anything that felt strange this quarter? Four, any changes to health, medications, or driving that we should be aware of? Five, any updates to who should know what if something happens? 60 minutes, 4 times a year. That is the entire program. Most families do not have this conversation at all. The ones that do almost never get blindsided. Now, let me tie this together. I want to land on one idea: protection first, growth second, Structure determines outcome. Notice none of these 5 moves involve picking a stock. None involve buying a product. None involve changing your parents' investment strategy. They are all structural. They install scaffolding that catches the bad day before it becomes the bad year. $5,000 of careful coordination, an attorney visit, a monitoring tool, a few quiet conversations, a piece of paper on the refrigerator is the difference between an inheritance arriving intact and an inheritance arriving in a police report. That is the trade I want you thinking about tonight. If you are a sandwich generation adult and you can feel some of this hitting close to home, if you are not sure your parents are protected, if you are not sure where the documents are, or you have been meaning to have the conversation for a year and have not done it, I want to make this easy. If you don't want to do all this yourself, we can help. What you need to do, get on a call with us. No pressure, just clarity. And go to personaleconomiccoach.com and schedule a free conversation. We will help you make sense of all of this. This is educational information only. Always consult a qualified attorney, accountant, or financial professional, or call us before making any financial or legal decisions for yourself or your family. Take care of each other, and we will see you on the next video.